does Pink Shirt Day really help? Well, yeah, it helps in the fact that, people are at least now aware of the problem. It helps in that, like if somebody's going through that in school and they see somebody wearing a pink shirt, they can say, oh, okay, well, this is, somebody does care. I think a lot of it is just that aspect of communicating with one another openly and honestly, and also, like, I mean, looking at it from, the bully perspective as well. Like, I mean, why is there no support for people that are bullying people as well? Like, I mean, why is it just one-sided when we're looking at, sort of the victim aspect of things, where we could be outreaching and, like, looking to help those who are, hurting other people. Like, I mean, there must be a reason for that, but we seem to always go to the one side of the argument. And I'm not saying that it's like, I mean, those people don't deserve, like, the help. Obviously they do. But we need to look at the other side of it as well and say, how can we help over here? I wrote a book called Stick Boy, which was a novel in verse and just about my experiences growing up in the North with bullies and, becoming a bully. And then the Vancouver Opera reached out and said, we'd really love to do an opera based on your book. And I thought, oh, great, go for it. And then they were like, well, we'd like you to write it. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about opera, really. But it's been a pretty amazing experience, and they're really respectful of the material. Like, they really realize, these aren't just pages from a book; these are pages out of my life. And it's been such a weird process because I'm used to writing really. I don't want to say. I don't know. I guess a lot of the stuff that I write in terms of rhyming and stuff it's quite complex. Like, there's no specific rhyme scheme to it. I'm kind of all over the place, but I work it out a lot. And with the opera, it's been really different because I have to write in a way that it's all the vowels have to be really drawn out to be sung, and so I'm having to constantly keep it, simplify it in a way. And so for me, that's been a real challenge. But I'm pretty happy with what we have so far.
That's pretty amazing. So you have to basically condense the ideas you're trying to say for opera, is that right?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, the book Stick Boy, there's no real dialogue in it, so I find myself having to create that as well. The book, it's all sort of like inner thoughts and just sort of reflection. And so I had to create a piece that was, writing the book in the first place was really difficult because it was me going back and digging up all of that awfulness that occurred. And so having to do this had me back in that pit digging up even more of it, right? So it was a challenge to do for sure. Yeah, I think for a lot of it, I want people to have a full experience when they come to one of my shows. I want them to go through that full range of emotion, because I think people tend to forget that they're emotional creatures. We live in a world now that says, you can't be emotional at work. Like, if you're having a bad day at work, they'll send you home. They don't want to see it. And so constantly now we're living in a world where, the world is saying it's not okay for you to be emotional, but that's what we are. We're emotional beings. And so for my shows, I just want people to reconnect to that and let them know this is a safe space to do that, and it's okay to do that. It doesn't matter where you are. You're entitled to your emotions. There's a lot of back and forth, which I think is good. I think it's healthy. Like, I mean, the debates that happen over opinions, but I think a lot of people, they stifle their opinions once they see how passionate somebody else is on the other side of that argument. Or, there's all this sort of like political correctness and things like that happening, which is, it's getting to a point now where it's like, okay, well, what is safe to say? Because that list seems a lot shorter these days. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe the arts is the last bastion of opinion. There isn't a lot of it these days, but, I just make sure to tell, the people that I'm working with, it's like, I need space today, or I need, it's just, you got to be vocal about it,
Yeah.
and, I've got my room in my house, and that's where, when I'm in that room, everybody knows, like, just don't bother them. Like, it's like, because it's weird to say that, but it's like, I'm really an introvert. Like, I need time to recharge after going out and being social with people. I can't turn that on and be that all the time. Like, I mean, I do that in front of a mass group of people when I'm on stage, I'm being very open about myself and my life for those, however long, 2 hours or whatever. But after that, I need to retreat. I need to, like, go and be like, all right, now I just need some me space.